Okay, so popped into game then real quick. If we have a look in the escape menu, you can see we now have the Alfalfa displaying in the list, not Lucerne, because I changed the title of those field types. It's going to give me Alfalfa. If I then go to the prices page, you can see here, we scroll across, we've got the two different HUDs and their appropriate prices. So our Lucerne £93 and our Lucerne windrow, dry Lucerne windrow. So this is windrow, Lucerne windrow, and then dry Lucerne windrow, or hay, whatever you want to call it, and they're different prices. Okay, so much to do and no time to do it in, always. What I'll do then, real quick, let's cheat some money in, and I'm going to get, that'll do, and then we'll get some bigger equipment, I think. So let's get, yeah, let's do this one. So let's do that, and we'll get a, let's get this one. So you can see here it's got the Lucerne HUD or icon, so we'll get that one. Just to test that we can actually seed this real quick. And if I then, what I might do here real quick is just, if we go into here and get rid of some of this stuff, so it's not in my way. That's better. So if I go over to the store, and I will get some seed pallets. Don't know how many we need. Let's just do loads, that's fine. And some solid fertilizer. That'll do. I'll just connect this up. So, refill, let's do that. If I go Y, you can then see we have Alfalfa in the bottom right hand corner there with the HUD showing up perfectly fine. Okay, so that's too far away. So let's get a bit closer, we'll get a bit more seed. Doesn't really matter, to be fair. I probably would use maybe hired worker anyway, but fill it up, whatever. And then I'll find a field. What is that not filling up? There we go. Stupid pallets. Right. Go, go, go. Move. Okay. We'll just go down to the main farm here quick, I think, because I own that land anyway. I just wanted to show you real quick that it will actually seed, and then we'll get a little bit, maybe a couple of strips put in, fast forward time, and show you the different growth stages and whatever else. And then what I'll do, I'll end the video there, I think, and then the next video after this one I'm going to look at bales and setting those up. What I will more than likely do is just use the standard textures, so the Lucerne bale will look exactly the same as a grass bale, and the Lucerne hay bale will look exactly the same as a standard hay bale. But at the end of the day, you stick a fork in it and it will then tell you what is what. You know, just go by the field type name, which we now have by default in version 1.3 anyway. so not really too fussed about that. I did have some bales in 17 which were okay, not too bad. The round bales I could always get the textures to work quite well, but the square bales, because it has the metal kind of strapping around the bales, I don't know what you call those, it's not twine is it, but anyway, whatever. When you try and work with the different textures, it kind of messes up those braces or whatever you call them. So I also want to just double check that Hive Worker does actually work, so let's do H, and there we go, Hive Worker, fantastic. So let's get out of that. So Hive Worker is now doing what they need to do, and if we come into the field it shows me alfalfa growing, fertilised 48%. So all of that, as far as that goes, is working so far as intended. So I think what I will do then is while that's doing that, because it's not a very big field, if I go back to here, and yeah, that'll do. We'll grab this tractor and let's do this and this, and we'll just grab a couple of mowers here like so, and we'll just test this out once. That won't take long to seed that field with that massive seeder, so we'll just do this quick and then I'll speed up time and we'll just quickly mow the field. And then what I might do is maybe grab a tedder and a windrow, and we'll just have a quick look at that to show you that all does work with the correct particles, or at least particles, maybe not correct, but particle effects and whatever else. I've tried to get them as close as I can to look like alfalfa or lucerne. Some of them are still based around the in-game textures. You know, mowed alfalfa is not going to look that different to mowed grass, in my opinion, when it's being flung off the back of a windrow. So I'm just going to go with that, that's fine. I never played on this map that much actually, which is a bit of a shame because it's not a bad map, but I got stuck into Fellsbrunn when FS19 first came out, and I never really paid much attention to this map, which is a bit of a shame. I might have to maybe come back to this and have a bit more of a look at it. Let's do that. Okay, what I'm going to do then is let's get another tractor, get that one to do, and let's do that, and windrow, that'll do, and we'll get another tractor. Nah, let's go for big, yeah, well that'll do, get that one, and tedder, that'll be fine. Right, I'll pause and I'll go and grab that equipment while that's still seeding, and then we'll come back. Hopefully that'll be finished by then anyway. Yeah, we'll mow some alfalfa once it's gone round a bit, and see what we get. Okay, so field is all now seeded up. If I go into the escape menu here, we'll have a look. So alfalfa, you can see here, it's growing. It has fertilizer stage 1, which is fine. I'm not really too fussed about that. That'll do for this. Not going to mess about too much with any of that. So it is in the map, it is there, it is showing up, alfalfa growing and all the rest of it. So we'll speed up time here a little bit, and hopefully we should see some sort of growth stage. Still not quite sure on how the growth stages work in this game. But there we go, so that's our first growth stage, and you can see by setting it up the way I have the same, using the same mechanic as grass, it converts the actual field terrain texture from the seeded over to the grass terrain texture, and by doing this it then allows it to regrow on its own. So you only have to seed the alfalfa once, and you don't have to then reseed it again. It will just do whatever it needs to. And obviously if you've got periodic ploughing turned on, then this would need to be ploughed at some point to give you the higher yield. I don't know what the actual difference is between if you don't and do. Not very much, I would imagine, but you can see it's all, you know, now looking pretty good, I think. So we'll go again with a bit more on the speed, and we'll get round to another growth stage here shortly, hopefully. Usually always happens when it's pitch black and you don't actually see it happen. There we go. So we've now got another growth stage. So if we come back into the escape menu here and we'll go round to growth, you can see it's changed a little bit there. We'll go again. I think it's around 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe not quite so late as that, but there we go. So now we have that. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can get up here. There we go. And with those LOD textures, it really does look nice, I think. You can see the flower effect from a fair distance away just adds so much to the feel of everything. So let's go again and get round to the next stage. There we go. I think that looks really, really nice like that, with the flowered effect and whatever else. Just adds a little bit more in my opinion. It's just some green sticky thing sticking up through the ground that's called alfalfa. I think this just adds a bit more to it. Anyway, so that's that. We should now be ready to harvest, which we are. Fantastic. So let's jump into the mower and let's get this thing lined up. And we test the hired worker. No reason why it wouldn't work, but always like to just try it out. So let's somewhere like that maybe. The crop does bend about. If I show you that, does it? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Why does it not bend? Oh, that is interesting. Okay. It should bend. Well, let's just see if we can actually harvest it then, because it may be broken. Okay, so let's do that and that. Okay, so we can harvest it. It just doesn't bend. I'll have to look into that. I've had it working before. So let's do that and that. Okay. Well, we can mow it, but there's something clearly not right somewhere with it. I don't know what it is just yet. We do have a texture showing up. Oh, it bent then. I actually saw it bend about. Interesting. Yeah, it is definitely bending about now. Okay, so let's turn this off again then. And just double check something here. If I go out into here, there we go. Wow, that was weird. So it is bending about. I can say I had it working before where it was bending about like this, so I didn't understand why it wouldn't do it before. Perhaps maybe it took a little while for the engine to update and figure out that it was a new crop. No idea. Some things in FS19 are just like Ghost in the Machine. It's really weird. It's freaky. Doesn't do what you expect it to do, and then it does something completely random when you don't want it to. Anyway, whatever. Right, let's hire a worker if I can. Let's do that. No, let's do that. And we'll get into the field a little bit, and then we'll go H, and away we go. Fantastic. Yep, it's definitely bending now. So I don't know why it wasn't doing that before, because it definitely is now. Yeah, don't know if that's freaky. But anyway, irregardless, we are getting somewhere. Right, let's go and grab, let's do the windrow on this one. So I'm just going to have a look and check that the actual windrow does work here. So let's do this. And we're away. There we go. Okay, so windrow is working. We do have particle effects and whatever else coming off the actual windrow, smoke and what have you, so that's okay. I'm alright with that. It looks pretty good. So we'll just do this one row, that's fine. And then the next one I'm going to run the tether across it, and then I'll grab the loading wagon. We'll test that and just make sure it picks it all up and does what it needs to do. So let's do that, and then we'll grab this one. Yes. And there we go. So we now have alfalfa hay. So we'll just do one line of this. So try to, get textures that didn't look exactly the same as the in-game textures, but would possibly give you, some kind of resemblance of what I would think alfalfa windrow would look like. With the flowers and whatever else, you're going to get maybe a slightly darker colour to it, and then maybe when it's dried like this, it's going to give you a little bit more of a different kind of effect, again because of the flowers and whatever else that are in the actual in the crop. But it doesn't look exactly the same as grass, because this is obviously our grass just here, and then this is our lucerne windrow. So yeah, I don't know, let me know what you think. So we'll just windrow this line here real quick. Not going to do the whole lot, but we'll just do this one line, and then I'll grab the loading wagon, and we'll just test the pickup, make sure that works, and also the tip on ground. There's no reason why it wouldn't, because like I said before, the windrows are based around the tip on ground feature of the game. But I just want to, wrong button, there we go. So I just want to make sure that it will actually tip out into a heap from the loading wagon. It's alright to actually be able to pick it up and whatever, but if you can't tip it back out again, it's not much use. So we'll do this one. Lower, wrong button again, there we go, alfalfa. Okay, fantastic. So it is picking up alfalfa. We have our fill plane texture. I don't know if we can actually get that. There we go. Not too bad. Don't need to do the whole row really. So let's just do that, and we'll go Control I, and there we go. Tips out onto the ground. Perfect. So theoretically then you could use your custom bunker silos with the lucerne and dry lucerne or hay or whatever you want to call this stuff, whatever you choose to name it, and it will work with the tip on ground. So you could then put this into your bunker silo and convert it to chaff, and then obviously eventually over to silage. And we have our alfalfa hay there in the bottom right hand corner. It's saying our alfalfa hay, so that's fantastic, working as well. So again, Control I, and we have that tipping out into a heap on the ground. Awesome. So at the moment everything seems to be working well, okay, I guess. Don't know why the crop wouldn't bend to start with, but it certainly is now. So yeah, must be a glitch somewhere there. The engine took a little while to just update and realise what the hell was going on with the new crop, but it got there eventually, I guess. But we have alfalfa in the map, mowable. If I was to speed up time again, this would just automatically regrow. I can show you that if I just speed up time here again. Don't need to reseed it, it will just grow on its own. Obviously we'd need to fertilise it and put the lime down if you have that function turned on. But it works in exactly the same fashion as the grass. So we're now back to growth stage 1. And if I continue on round again, now I've got withering turned off, so the other there will always stay the same. And then we'll growth stage 2, and we can continue on round again. And there we go. So back to our first, I don't know if this is, yeah, still growing, first flower stage if you like, and then we'll go around again. And eventually here, hopefully, back to fully grown and ready to harvest. So no need to replant or reseed. You can just mow it and do what you want to do there, and then just leave it, fertilise it, do whatever you want to do with that, and then it will regrow on its own, and you can have at it and mow it again and keep going, just exactly the same as you would with the grass. It just looks a bit better than just plain old grass, in my opinion. So there we go. I think I'm going to split this up, so this will probably be part 2 actually, because we've been way too long doing this part. So part 1 would be just showing you how to get it all into the map and set it all up. Part 2 here is the beginning of the testing stage to make sure that it all works and grows and does whatever it needs to do and looks good. And then the next video we'll potentially have a look at bales, and then I might look at actually making a custom bale wrapper, so we can actually then wrap the lucerne bales to make silage. I'm ShyWizard, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.